Hi, my name's McKenzie, the Action Coach.
Hello, and I'm Vanessa McLean, the Results Coach.
And we're here today in the Life Transformation Lounge.
You're with us today in the Life Transformation Lounge, and we're going to talk about...
We're going to kick off with talking about choices, and I love the topic choices because that's all we have. You know, it's as simple as left or right. And that's all you need to change your life. Do you continue down this road, or do you make an alternative choice and go that way? It's as simple as that.
Paul, in my coaching programs, I have many people asking me, Vanessa, what do I do next? What's my next step? I want a different outcome for my life. I want to see some change.
And it's very difficult because that's what most people want, and it's gift wrapped in so many different packages, isn't it? But all they want is, how can I change something about my life so I can live my life in the way I desire? So when your clients ask you about change, I think it's very important to address where they are at the moment and get them to visualize what their life is about at the moment. How are they living today? And it's also great to see, where do you want change? Where do you want change in your life? Unless you're specific, change could be anywhere. You could even be experiencing change in this forum. And until you address that and say, this is the change in my life I need to move forward, you can often miss that.
But why is it important to know where you are right now when it comes to change?
Because knowing where you are right now is going to give you the blueprint for where you need to be. So where you need to get to, it's kind of that metaphor, isn't it? Getting into a taxi and just sitting in the back. And the driver says to you, where do you want to go? And you say, I don't know. Where does he go? So unless you have a definitive purpose and for an outcome, you're going to be sat in the back of that taxi wondering, where the hell am I going? So know where you need to go. Know what changes you need in your life.
Changes can be an uncomfortable thing. You mentioned that a little while ago. But with change, there's also a lot of opportunities. And one of the things about the Life Transformation Lounge, we're creating something where you look at change as something that is a good thing, something to embrace, something that you will grow through. Choices that you make won't be based on a place of lack of knowledge, because that's another thing, yeah.
Lack of knowledge.
But choices will be made based on the essence of, I'm now in a situation, I've never been in this situation before. What is the best thing that can possibly happen because of this? What do you think about that, Paul?
The best thing that could possibly happen is the fact that you decide you need a change. Now is the time to make that decision. Decide today you need a change in your life. And once you make that decision, every other area of your life automatically changes. So it's important to decide to change, because so many of us know we have areas in our lives that we need to change, and we just do nothing about it. We just continue living our lives doing nothing about it. The decision is painful. So you have to make that decision in order to make that change effective.
Life isn't static. The skills that we had 5-10 years ago may not be the skills that we need right now for the 21st century. Technology, the internet, it's just creating so many different opportunities. It's causing us to change by the moment, to adapt to circumstances. Some of the things we're seeing, we've been so skilled up to go into jobs and organisations. But those roles and those skills, in a certain sense, have become redundant.
They're obsolete. Many of the roles that we trained for years ago no longer exist. So in order to have a belief system that you are relevant in today's society, oh my God, what do you have to shift for that?
Well, the biggest thing is our mindset, because the tools which served us maybe even 4 years ago may not necessarily be the tools that we're going to need to open the door to our next brighter future. We had a key, we had a system, but those keys no longer work. We now have fobs, we now have other other gadgets that allows us to be more effective in what we used to do.
And in a much quicker way. I mean, I went to college to become a web designer originally. Now I have no idea how to update a simple form website, and I'm seeking advice to do that. So that's one of the areas in my life I need to look at that and say, you know, the skills I have are now obsolete to the fact that I actually no longer know how to build a website. So I've become obsolete at website building.
This is one of the greatest things that I think you'll take away from today's lounge, Life Transformation Lounge, is how relevant am I? Write that down. How relevant am I? And what are the skills that I have that are going to serve me for this coming year and at least 5 years moving on? Just be aware technology is changing. Our environment is changing. Where we used to have 6 degrees of separation, that no longer exists. So we have to be very relevant. You have to be relevant and make the choice to be relevant. Make sure that as changes occur in your life, embrace them. This is a time for you to excel. This is a time for you to discover who you really are.
Change is a really good thing. Most people see change as a very negative thing. Change is a really, really powerful thing to happen in your life. Once you change, you start changing things like habits, you start changing beliefs, you start changing how you believe and where you are in your present life. So by changing one small thing, your entire life can change. And I think it's so powerful that people make those changes on a consistent basis.
I remember quite a few years ago when I made a choice, and that was to leave my job. Something that I enjoyed. I worked as a systems analyst. I loved what I did. I loved the money as well. But something spoke to me, and it was a heart-centered place, and it said, Vanessa, you have to serve people in a way that you can see their lives being changed. Where you see those lives, they're actually planting seeds into others. And that was through speaking. And that's when I decided my passion to be a speaker and to train others to tell their story far superseded what I was doing in an organisation. I loved it. I served. I took away skills and techniques which I now use in my coaching program. But here's the thing, never remain static. You've got to bloom, blossom and grow.
And if you're not growing?
Simply dying.
You're simply dying. I've read that somewhere, that if you're not growing, you're dying. What a profound statement. If you're not growing, you're dying. And what that read to me was if you're not changing every aspect of your life regularly, then you could be dying. You could be going backwards, you could be going into the earth as opposed to it projecting yourself upwards. So change something about yourself and stop dying. I hate saying it, but there's too many people out there not changing, too many people out there living with their old habits, their old beliefs. These are the people that need to make those changes in their lives today.
If you're sitting there, standing there, or even just listening to the Life Transformation Lounge, you're going through some change and you're feeling that discomfort. You're not alone in this. What we want to help you to do is to get unstuck.
Unstuck.
Paul, you have some strategies, don't you, for helping people to get unstuck?
How to get unstuck? Just become an unstuck person. It's as easy as that. Get over yourself. Most of the limits you have placed on yourself, you put them there. So those limits becoming unstuck simply means move to a place of change. Start associating pleasure with change. And you'll notice that that same glue that sticks you to that present life that you have starts to become more flexible, and then in time it just removes itself, so you're not stuck anywhere.
But what story can you now write because of this experience?